Good evening. Here are tonight's top stories. 17-year-old in critical condition after motorcycle accident in Pomeroon Supinam. Guyana police are on the lookout for a suspect linked to a murder, while an Essequibo businesswoman appeals to the public for help in locating an alleged thief. Additionally, suspected stolen articles are recovered in a police operation in Triumph. In health news, the Ministry of Health is pursuing a new dengue vaccine amid efforts to control outbreaks. Meanwhile, Guyana secures an offshore patrol vessel in a defense enhancement move. Stay tuned as a High Court judge is set to deliver a ruling on the GTU versus government case, and the CCJ dismisses a challenge against electrical consumption arrears by new thriving restaurant. Stay tuned for these updates. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more news.
17-year-old in critical condition after motorcycle accident in Pomeroon Supinam. A 17-year-old is currently fighting for his life at the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation's GPHC Intensive Care Unit ICU following a harrowing accident this morning. The incident occurred along the Perseverance Public Road in Region 2. The critically injured individual has been identified as Shane Law, a resident of Cullen on the Essequibo coast. According to reports, at approximately 9:30 a.m., the teenager was traveling northbound on the western driving lane at a high speed when he lost control of his motorcycle. The collision with a motorcar was catastrophic, resulting in the motorcar catching fire. A concerned relative shared their account. He was heading home at quite a speed, but he couldn't maintain control of the bike. He collided with the car in front of him. His condition is serious, and the doctors have taken him to Georgetown. They've given him a 50-50 chance of survival. Investigations into the incident are ongoing, and authorities are working to determine the exact cause of the collision. Our thoughts are with Shane Law and his family during this difficult time. Guyana police seek suspect in connection with murder. The Guyana police force is appealing to the public for assistance in locating Stefan Branford, wanted in connection with the murder of Courtney Young on March 21, 2024. A wanted bulletin has been issued for 22-year-old Branford, a resident of Adia Field, Sofia. Young, a 56-year-old laborer from the same area, tragically lost his life after being shot by a gunman while working on a house with contractor Vincent Cozier, 57. According to Cozier's account to the police, he and Young were drinking at the worksite when they observed the suspect approaching on a bicycle. The assailant reportedly entered the yard, brandishing what appeared to be a shotgun, and fired at Young before fleeing the scene. Young succumbed to his injuries shortly after. The police urge anyone with information on Branford's whereabouts to come forward. Individuals can contact the nearest police station or call the following numbers: 226-3405, 225-6978, 225-8196, 2257-1611, or 226-3405. The cooperation of the public is essential in bringing the perpetrator to justice and ensuring the safety of the community. Essequibo businesswoman seeks public help to locate alleged thief. Essequibo businesswoman Camille Kissoon is appealing to the public for assistance in locating one of her employees accused of stealing 2 Yamaha engines and a boat worth $1.1 million. Residing and operating her farming and fishing activities at Ducalabo Island, along the Essequibo River, Kissoon reported to the newsroom that the suspect, Shendra Ramkishore, also known as Asanabai, was present at the worksite last week when the theft occurred. According to Kissoon, on Tuesday of the previous week, Ramkishore and another employee were at the base where fishing and farming operations were conducted. The second employee informed Kissoon that Ramkishore purportedly claimed he had been instructed to collect the engines and boat. Subsequently, Ramkishore allegedly absconded with 2 Yamaha engines valued at $650,000 and $330,000, respectively, along with a boat valued at $200,000. He failed to return, and Kissoon asserts that he had no authorization to take the items. A formal report regarding the theft was lodged at the Porika police station. Individuals with any pertinent information are urged to contact the police or reach out to Kissoon directly at 677-1916. Charlestown stabbing incident leaves psychiatric patient hospitalized. Authorities in Regional Division 4 are currently investigating a violent incident that occurred on April 9, 2024, leaving a psychiatric patient hospitalized. Orxenio Ben, a 30-year-old resident of Providence East Bank Demerara, was allegedly stabbed by an identifiable male near Ketley Street in Charlestown. According to police reports, Ben and the suspect were acquainted with each other. On the fateful evening, Ben stood on the western side of Ketley Street, accompanied by the suspect's brother. As Ben prepared to leave and seek transportation home, the suspect approached from the northern direction of Ketley Street, riding a bicycle. In a shocking turn of events, the suspect inflicted 3 stab wounds upon Ben. 2 of these wounds targeted the center of his chest, while the third struck the right side of his head. After the attack, the suspect swiftly fled eastward along the same street. The motive behind the stabbing remains unclear, but authorities have revealed that Ben and the suspect had a prior misunderstanding. Prompt action by concerned citizens led to Ben's rescue, and he was promptly transported to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC, for medical treatment. His current condition is listed as stable. Investigations into this disturbing incident are ongoing, and law enforcement officials are working diligently to apprehend the suspect and shed light on the circumstances surrounding the attack. The GPHC medical team continues to monitor Ben's recovery as the community grapples with the aftermath of this violent encounter. Suspected stolen articles recovered in Triumph police operation. In a recent police operation conducted by a team of ranks led by an assistant superintendent in Regional Division 4C, a significant number of suspected stolen articles were recovered from a residence located at Surratt Drive, Triumph, East Coast, Demerara. The operation, aimed at combating theft and illicit activities, resulted in the discovery of various items believed to have been unlawfully acquired. The recovered articles include 4 vehicle batteries, 7 solar lights, 1 total electrical plane, 1 total electrical saw, 1 Royal electrical saw, 1 INCO electrical saw, 2 water pumps, 2 hand sprayers, 1 kit containing a ratchet set, 1 steel grass cutter, 1 Homelet grass cutter, 1 Teratech battery drill, half roll of 2.5 electrical wire, 2 Samsung Galaxy smartphones, 1 ZTE cellular phone. Following the operation, the confiscated items were transported to the Butterverwagding police station, where they are currently lodged awaiting verification of ownership. The police urge individuals who may have had similar items stolen to come forward and provide proof of ownership to facilitate the investigation. This successful operation demonstrates law enforcement's commitment to combating criminal activities and recovering stolen property, ultimately enhancing safety and security within the community. Citizens are encouraged to cooperate with authorities and report any suspicious activities to aid in maintaining law and order. Ministry of Health pursues new dengue vaccine amid ongoing efforts to control outbreaks. The Ministry of Health is intensifying efforts to combat dengue fever by exploring the acquisition of a new vaccine targeting all 4 strains of the virus. Speaking at a recent event at the ministry's headquarters, Minister Dr. Frank Anthony outlined the ongoing measures to minimize dengue occurrences in the country. Dr. Anthony revealed that the ministry is actively seeking a vaccine that covers the 4 different types of dengue, although he noted the challenges posed by the high cost of such vaccines. Despite this hurdle, the ministry remains committed to exploring all available options to enhance dengue prevention and control strategies. Acknowledging the spike in dengue cases observed last year, Dr. Anthony reassured the public that existing methods have been effective in keeping dengue cases at a low rate. Among these methods is the Vector Control Unit's implementation of spraying and fogging activities in communities to eradicate Aedes mosquitoes, the primary vectors for dengue transmission. Additionally, the ministry has introduced a new technique called Abate, a larvicide that targets and kills mosquito larvae, particularly those of the Aedes species. Minister Anthony explained that Abate, when applied to stagnant water, prevents mosquito breeding sites, thereby reducing the risk of dengue transmission. As dengue outbreaks are more common during the rainy season, Minister Anthony stressed the importance of proactive measures, including the increased use of rapid diagnostic tests, RDTs, for early detection of dengue cases. This proactive approach allows for timely treatment and contributes to the reduction of dengue cases across all administrative regions. Guyana secures offshore patrol vessel in defense enhancement move. In a significant step towards bolstering its national defense and security capabilities, the government of Guyana, represented by the Guyana Defense Force, GDF, facilitated the signing of a letter of intent with Offshore for the acquisition of an offshore patrol vessel. The vessel, valued at €39.5 million, is slated to reinforce Guyana's maritime security efforts. The signing ceremony, held at the Ministry of Finance, underscored the government's commitment to fortify the GDF under the strategic vision of His Excellency President Irfan Ali, who has prioritized equipping the armed forces to safeguard the nation's territorial integrity. Highlighting the significance of the procurement, government officials emphasized that the vessel aligns with President Ali's vision to equip the GDF adequately, enabling it to fulfill its crucial responsibilities effectively. Furthermore, the initiative signifies the deepening relationship between Guyana and France, as evidenced by recent engagements, including the visit of Minister Stéphane Séjourné, France's Minister for Europe and Foreign Affairs. France's announcement of intentions to establish an embassy in Guyana by 2025 further underscores the strengthening ties between the two nations. The signing ceremony was attended by His Excellency Nicolas de Boulogne de Lacoste, the Ambassador of France to Suriname and Guyana, as well as Captain Jerry Gouvia, the National Security Advisor, and Brigadier Omar Khan, the Chief of Defense Staff of the GDF. Officials from the Ministry of Finance and the GDF also participated in the event. Representing the GDF, Captain, Coast Guard, Vernon Burnett, Colonel Administration and Quartering, and Mr. Yorgo Hernandez, Director of the Americas for OSHA, signed the agreement, marking a significant milestone in Guyana's defense enhancement efforts. High Court judge to deliver ruling on GTU versus government case. On Wednesday, High Court Judge Sandil Kassoon concluded hearings in the case brought by the Guyana Teachers Union, GTU, against the government of Guyana. The case, which sought various declarations including the legality of a 5-week strike by teachers, payment for time on strike, and the halting of union dues deduction from teachers' salaries, has garnered significant attention. Counsel for the GTU, Darren Wade, Attorney General Anil Nandlal, representing the government, and Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford, representing the Guyana Trades Union Congress, GTUC, presented their final arguments during the proceedings. Following a period of cross-examination of witnesses and court-ordered mediation, which led to the calling off of the strike and the suspension of the government's intention to deduct salaries of striking teachers, the case was poised for judicial determination. Attorney General Nandlal argued that the GTU's case was defective, emphasizing the absence of sufficient relevant documents to support their pleadings. He also contended that there exists no constitutional right to strike in Guyana, only a freedom to strike, which may entail consequences such as deductions from salaries. In contrast, Senior Counsel Ford asserted that Guyana's constitution and international conventions uphold the fundamental right to strike, contradicting Nandlal's position. Ford maintained that international treaties support the incorporation of a right to strike, countering Nandlal's assertion. Regarding the government's decision to halt union dues deduction, Nandlal argued that it remained an executive decision beyond judicial review due to separation of powers. He acknowledged collective bargaining between the government and GTU but suggested that salary issues may not have been adequately addressed due to the union's purported lack of assertiveness. Both legal teams acknowledged the gravity of the issues under consideration and expressed anticipation for Judge Kassoon's ruling, scheduled for the following Friday at 9:30 a.m. The outcome of this case is anticipated to have significant implications for labor relations and collective bargaining practices in Guyana, setting important precedents for future disputes between unions and the government. CCJ dismisses new thriving restaurant challenge against electrical consumption arrears. On Tuesday, April 9, 2024, the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ, rendered its judgment in the case of Che Jianping and Xiao Guangzhou v. Guyana Power and Light Incorporated. 2024, CCJ 8, AJGY, in its appellate jurisdiction. The decision, authored by Mr. Justice Andrew Burgess, upheld the ruling of the Court of Appeal of Guyana. The appellants, operating under the trading names New Thriving Restaurant and New Thriving Fast Food, were embroiled in a dispute with Guyana Power and Light Inc., GPL, over arrears accrued from electricity consumption between January 2002 and July 2009. Despite monthly billing, the appellant's account showed arrears exceeding payments by GYD 13-768-937. Legal proceedings commenced in the High Court on October 29, 2010, where it was determined that the appellants were liable to pay GPL the aforementioned sum for the electricity supplied. This decision was upheld by the Court of Appeal. The appeal to the CCJ, filed on May 12, 2023, contested the Court of Appeal's ruling. However, the CCJ clarified that Section 23 of the Electricity Sector Reform Act established a statutory contract for electricity supply between consumers and public electrical suppliers like GPL. Furthermore, Regulation 31(2) of the Public Electricity Supply Regulations entitled GPL to seek legal recourse for breaches of the supply contract. The CCJ concluded that GPL met the requirements of Regulation 31(2), enabling it to backbill the appellants beyond the 12-month period specified in the regulations and claim full arrears. Consequently, the CCJ dismissed the appeal and affirmed the orders of the Court of Appeal. The panel hearing the case included Honorable Mr. Justice Adrian Saunders, President, and Honorable Justices Winston Anderson, Maureen Rajnoth-Lee, Dennis Barrow, and Andrew Burgess. Mr. Stephen Fraser SC and Mrs. Chantel Scott Law represented the appellants, while Mr. Timothy M. Jonas SC and Ms. Crystal Abrams represented the respondent.